before I start the video, during the Christmas season, if you could please subscribe to my channel, that would be a great present to me. If you like the video, please click the like button, share this sucker out through social media, and leave comments in the comments section, because the more interactions I get with my channel, the less time I have to spend with my wife. So by interacting with my video, you could be actually saving a life, namely mine. One more minor note. I will be live streaming with Ian K on Christmas evening. You may know him as Comics Division. It will be the Thursday Night Throwdown Christmas edition. Start time will probably be around 10 to 11 Eastern Standard Time and 7 to 8 p.m. on the Pacific Coast. I haven't actually heard a specific time, but those are usually his startup times. So if you're feeling a little lonely, a little bored, a little down, like some people do this time of year, I was in the military for 10 years. There were a couple years where I couldn't go home for Christmas. The bases end up like ghost towns. So you kind of feel lonely, bummed out, depressed. And I didn't have the benefit of the internet or YouTube. So take advantage of these things. Drop in. Ian usually does a pretty good job of interacting with his chat. We all do. So you'll feel part of the channel, and it should be a really good time. Having said all that, I'm going to get into my video, and that is a review of the Dracula trailer that dropped earlier this week. I know what everyone's saying. It's another Dracula movie. We've seen this all before, and there is some truth to that. However, we had seen Frankenstein done several times before, and I think the best movie of 2025 I saw was the Frankenstein that was done by Netflix. I thought they did a great job with that. There were some new interesting twists to it, and it was a very well done movie that was done basically on the cheap. And I think that's what Hollywood is beginning to remember, is that horror movies can be done very cheaply. You don't need green screen. You don't need a lot of CGI. What causes a lot of movies to run and overrun their budget by hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes. Looking at you, Bob Iger Company. Like I said, these can be done very cheaply, sometimes with almost no CGI, and just some really good makeup people. So without any further ado, let's take a look at Dracula.
My order has been studying this for 400 years.
Okay, the first person we saw there is Christoph Waltz. He is playing Van Helsing, and in this rendition, it appears he's a priest, since he mentions his order has been chasing Dracula for 400 years. That's a bit different than the book, and we'll see where this leads.
And you're the first to have captured a specimen alive. These creatures are the result of a divine curse.
Okay, another interesting twist there is apparently vampires have been running around. If you remember Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and Keanu Reeves, there were no additional vampires outside of his 3 wives, and they all basically stayed in the castle except when they had to go out at night to feed. So again, we seem to have a little bit of a twist here. Vampires in this rendition have been wandering across the world and causing havoc for about 400 years.
What exactly did I capture? A vampire.
I'll back it up right here. This probably isn't the same girl, but this reminds me of the redhead vampire that was in Van Helsing. Or maybe I'm being a little prejudiced and saying all gingers look alike. Oops. But yeah, she kind of looks like her. I'm just saying. I like the fangs. I don't really like the exaggerated ones, so I kind of like these. You get the flaming cross. That's kind of spooky. I'm assuming this is Van Helsing holding the cross, and we'll continue on.
For 400 years now, we've been looking for the source.
Here you are.
Okay, Dracula is going to be played by Caleb Landry Jones. He was Banshee in X-Men First Class, I believe. That's the only thing I really know him from. I'm not completely familiar with his resume. I like his look in this, just from this photo right here, or actually this part of the trailer. I like the look. Some people are going to say he's a poor man's Gary Oldman. Fine. And that's the look they were going for, is kind of from Dracula, Gary Oldman's look. Fine, whatever. I'm not going to really get into that. I just think he kind of fits the role. I like the way he looks.
He comes to find his princess.
Okay, and this is Matilda de Angelis. I probably mutilated her last name, but I'm sorry about that. I believe she's an Italian actress. Again, not familiar with her frame of work at all. I realize beauty's subjective, but I think she's a very attractive lady. Again, I think she was a good pick for the role. I like the way she looks. I also like the way she sounds. So let's continue on.
Count Dracula. Centuries ago, I asked God for one favor.
Love the armor. I don't care if it's functional or not. It's probably not Shad from Shadversity. We'll probably have a conniption fit looking at this, but it's obviously a dragon's head for his helmet. Again, if you listen to my last video, the significance of the dragon is Vlad Tepes's father was part of the Order of the Dragon, and he was called Dracula, which is Romanian for dragon, and Vlad Tepes III was called Dracula, which translates into son of the dragon. So that's why we're getting the helmet that looks like a dragon here. Like I said, I think this armor looks very cool. Yes, they were still wearing armor in the 15th century. This heavy type, there were other types too, but if you could afford it, you could get this heavy type of armor. It's basically plate. And it was rather cumbersome, but it allotted a lot of protection in combat.
I will fight in his name, but I ask him to spare my wife.
Okay, so he looks like he was making a deal with the Pope that he would fight the Ottomans who were invading Europe during Vlad Tepes's reign. Historically, there was no direct alliance between the Holy Roman Empire at that time and Vlad Tepes. He was fighting for selfish reasons because they were invading his country, not because he was defending the Holy Roman Empire or Europe. He actually, I believe, was Protestant. And, of course, the Protestants and the Catholics don't get along very well. So there was always tension there during his reign. He had a lot of problems. And eventually he was forced to, after he was ousted the first time, he was forced to marry the daughter of the King of Hungary and become a Catholic, which caused his own people to kind of turn on him a bit as well. It was the only way the Holy Roman Empire would support him taking back Wallachia from Radu, who was his brother, I believe, and was the one that originally ousted him in 1462.
He took my princess.
Okay, and it shows there that his first wife, who I'm not exactly sure, they don't really state her name. Some people say it was Anastasia. I'm not exactly sure about that. I think she was an unnamed wife. But in reality, when Vlad Tepes was routed and forced to leave Wallachia, his first wife threw herself off his castle in Penari rather than be captured by Vlad Tepes's brother Radu. So that's how she actually died. It was a suicide. And this one, I guess there's a little bit more motivation for his anger by his wife getting assassinated.
Tell your God that until he brings me back my wife, my life no longer belongs to him.
Okay, of course, this never happened in history. I'm assuming that's the Pope. It could be somebody else. Maybe it's just a high-ranking bishop or someone. Maybe an emissary of the Pope. But, yeah, he basically kills him out of anger for what happened to his wife. They didn't protect his wife. So he has basically forsaken the Catholic Church.
Pure souls can be reincarnated. Since then, I have lived on waiting for her return.
Okay, and this is basically the eternal love story we've heard a few times. They're going with the reincarnation angle, that his first wife, his true love, is going to be reincarnated and he's going to find her.
She's in danger. He's here.
Let them come.
Okay, the director is Luc Besson, and he is best known for The Fifth Element with Mila Jovovich and Bruce Willis. Really good movie if you haven't seen it. He did a really good job directing it. He's done some other stuff. He's not an unknown quantity in Hollywood. So I'm kind of hoping, this kind of gives me some hope here that this is actually going to be a good story. I also like the fact that it seems to be, we're going to get a lot more of Vlad Tepes's background, and perhaps we'll actually see some battles. But this looks like here, I don't know, are these French soldiers? They seem to be getting ready to break in to a crypt.
If we succeed in destroying this demon, all those who he's bitten will be freed from the curse.
Well, that's an interesting twist, too. That's not uncommon in vampire lore, although I think this is the first time a version of Bram Stoker's tale has talked about, well, I guess in the last one when they killed Dracula in the Gary Oldman version, Winona Ryder Mina was free and she was close to becoming a vampire, and when they killed him, she reverted back. We didn't really see what happened to his 3 vampire wives. Oh, wait a second. Yes, we did. I forgot. Van Helsing beheaded them all. Okay, so we didn't really get to see anyone else transfer back to being human because nobody else was alive at that point except Mina.
God sent you here to kill me.
God sent me here to save you.
I want to go back a little bit here.
He's here.
Let them come.
If we succeed in destroying this demon,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, and are these all the nuns that we saw earlier, and did he turn them all into vampires? And then he's trying to feed on his bride? I'm not exactly sure what's happening
all
here.
those who he's bitten will be freed from the curse.
God sent you here to kill me.
God sent me here to save you.
All right, I like the look of this here. It looks like we're going to get some battles. Like I said, I would like to see that. It would be a different angle than you see in most of the Dracula movies. Is, like I said, dealing more with how Vlad Tepes became Dracula, according to Bram Stoker. All right. It was a relatively short trailer. It's only 1 minute, 59 seconds. So, it does look interesting to me. I like most of the casting. I don't see any real problems with it. Really, the only thing that stuck out to me is if he assassinated the Pope, I could see where that would be a real problem. If that was just a bishop or some other emissary of the Pope, okay, well, that isn't as big of a problem. Obviously, that would drive a wedge between him and the Catholic Church, which there was anyway. So that wouldn't be as big a problem. Actually, that would probably kind of fit in completely with what was going on at the time to Vlad Tepes. Like I said, he had a very strained relationship with Rome and his own people and caused problems on both sides. I will probably want to see this movie just because, like I said, I am a Dracula nut. I love the lore. I love the historical figure of Vlad Tepes. Seeing his castle in Pinari is on my bucket list. Hopefully I'll get there before I'm too old to climb those stairs. It's quite a difficult climb from what I hear. It's very isolated, which made it a good place to hold up if you were under siege. And I don't have much else to say on the video. I'm excited about this. Maybe you're not, but I am. And I'm going to wrap this up here. And like my father told me when I was 18 years old, get out.